Chapter 26. Boveria mordicana fungus. A few weeks later, as Six was expanding the vault, his father Victor requested for a large number of B-1 battle droids to construct the subway line, marking the next stage in the transformation of Goodsprings and the surrounding region. The project aimed to link the rest camp near Goodsprings water source with New Vegas, creating a secure and efficient route that would bring much-needed quick transport resources and people to New Vegas. Using his advanced construction equipment and 6 droids, Victor supervised the operation, his vision slowly taking shape beneath the barren landscape. Meanwhile, Ron was beginning a movement of his own. His discovery of Victor's lineage as a journeyman scribe from the Shady Sands chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel connected him to a rich history, one that had nearly been erased after the Brotherhood's disastrous conflicts with the NCR. Though Victor held no grudge against the NCR, the knowledge of his family's past resonated with Ron, inspiring him to create a new Brotherhood chapter. Unlike the original Brotherhood of Steel, which hoarded technology and viewed it as their sacred duty to preserve it away from the common people, Ron's new chapter embraced a different philosophy. With Connor's blessing and the backing of Six's family, Ron trained his recruits from regular Wastelanders to use technology for the benefit of the entire wasteland. Their mission was to protect and share advancements with those in need, offering people the tools to build safer, more sustainable lives. The new chapter grew quickly, attracting a wide range of people: wanderers, traders, former NCR soldiers, and even settlers from New Vegas. Ron ensured that everyone, regardless of background, was welcome, fostering a sense of unity and purpose that had long been absent from the original Brotherhood's rigid structure. As the subway line progressed and the new Brotherhood chapter gained strength, Goodsprings was evolving into a hub of innovation and security. The wasteland, still harsh and unpredictable, now had a beacon of hope where survival was no longer about isolation, but about community and cooperation. Six's journey to the Remnant's bunker was a calculated risk, but one he had prepared for. Leaving an infuriated pregnant Rebecca behind, safe in Goodsprings, he steered his heavily fortified battle bus across the wasteland. Armed with his advanced engineering turrets, which provided both offense and defense, the heavily armored vehicle crawled steadily toward the roads at a consistent 30 miles per hour. After 2 days of uneventful travel, the real challenge began as he searched for the entrance to the secret bunker. Hours passed before he finally located the airtight ceiling door. Stepping out of the bus, he approached and recited the password, "Dear old friends, remember Navarro." The door responded immediately, gears clanking and grinding as the hatch slowly opened to reveal the Remnant's hidden outpost. Inside, a vertibird stood poised for use, alongside a sealed cylindrical exit that led outside the mountain. But it was the armory that caught Six's attention: 5 fully operational X-01 power armors, as well as an impressive cache of weapons and ammunition. Wasting no time, Six meticulously gathered all valuable equipment, stripping the bunker down to its essential components. With everything packed and ready, he prepared for the long return trip to Goodsprings, knowing that this haul would be invaluable to securing the town's future. The Remnant's resources, now in his hands, marked the beginning of a new era for his community. With all the valuable equipment and materials from the Remnant's bunker now in his possession, Six meticulously prepared for the journey back to Goodsprings. The dismantled components of the base, including the X-01 power armor and the stockpile of weapons and ammunition, were carefully secured into storage containers in his battle bus. The vertibird, although tempting to use for fast transport, was dismantled due to him not knowing how to pilot it, and not wanting to spend time learning from one of the virtual reality pods that would educate him. Instead, he stored the pods to be utilized for educational purposes and also served as entertainment back home. His fortified battle bus, a testament to his engineering prowess, roared back to life, its turrets primed and ready for any potential threats on the return trip. As Six navigated through the treacherous wasteland terrain, he couldn't help but think of Rebecca and their future together. With these newfound resources, the security of Goodsprings and his family would be further solidified. The 2-day trip back would be just as dangerous as before, but with the Remnant's legacy now in his hands, Six was more determined than ever to protect what he had built. On his return journey, Six made a stop at the critical and potentially cataclysmic site of Vault 22. The entrance to the vault remained ajar, surrounded by vibrant yet ominous vegetation and infested by creatures like giant mantises sent a chill down his spine, since he knew what they truly were. The once promising ecological haven had devolved into a nightmarish landscape that posed a significant threat to the wasteland due to the risk of the Boveria mordicana spores escaping. This vault, once home to dedicated scientists striving to combat global famine through innovative agricultural practices, now stood as a reminder of humanity's hubris. Before the conflict, this vault housed scientists dedicated to enhancing crop yields to address global famine. Their projects ranged from developing sophisticated fertilizers to breeding crops resistant to pests, drought, and diseases. Their work in genetically modifying crops and experimenting with advanced pest control techniques, like the creation of the Boveria mordicana fungus, aimed to build a sustainable future within the vault's controlled environment. But after the war, the fungus mutated, spreading throughout the vault, infecting its inhabitants, and turning them into grotesque spore carriers. These shambling remains, driven by the need to propagate the deadly spores, became a threat not just to the vault but to the entire wasteland. Six's first priority was containment. The vault's once noble mission of addressing global famine had tragically turned into a cataclysmic failure, with the spore-based infection transforming both plant life and humans into dangerous abominations. Without delay, he deployed his B-1 battle droids, each equipped with flamethrowers, to neutralize the infected flora and fauna. The exterior was purged with fire, ensuring that none of the hazardous spores could escape into the open air. Recognizing the potential disaster that awaited him, Six carefully formulated his plan. He couldn't allow the airborne Boveria mordicana spores to escape and wreak havoc on the wasteland. Using his CAMP system, he erected a sterilized containment structure over the entrance of the vault, an airtight barrier that would contain the threat and prevent any spores from seeping into the environment to prevent any future outbreaks. With the exterior secure, Six commanded his droids to enter the vault. They moved methodically through the darkened halls, flames illuminating the way as they purged the interior of the spore carriers and any remaining infected inhabitants. Inside, the droids continued their purging operation, meticulously destroying any signs of fungal infestation while collecting valuable items from the vault's previous inhabitants. Most crucially, they secured samples of the Boveria mordicana spores, which Six stored and later put up for sale in his system store, turning the deadly once-doomed research into a potentially repurposed valuable resource. The haunting remnants of Vault 22 slowly transformed into ash and smoke, ensuring that its dark legacy would not spread beyond its walls. But to make sure no data that could recreate the horrors of the vault ever made it out, Six detonated a mini-nuke at the center and bottom of the vault, eradicating all research data and samples of Boveria mordicana fungus. He felt a sense of responsibility as he was going to become a father, to protect not only his community and family but the entire wasteland from the catastrophic potential that lay within Vault 22. Ding. Quest. There stands the grass. Complete. Objective. Successfully destroy Vault 22 Boveria mordicana spores and research. Reward. Super rare gold tier item Mysterious Serum Recipe. Mysterious Serum. This serum is derived from the blood of archaeologist Lorenzo Cabot, who discovered a mysterious artifact during an excavation in the Rub al-Khali in 1894. By using it, you stop aging for a certain time, making you live for centuries. Effects. Plus 100% health. Plus cures all diseases, infections, and ailments. Plus 5 strength. Plus 50 damage resistance. Minus 36,000 radiation. Ding. Level up. Upon accessing the skill screen, Six was now level 10. He decided to continue enhancing his science skill to 76 and then proceeded to perks. He chose Nerd Rage, increasing his damage threshold by plus 15 and increasing strength by 10 points whenever health is 20% or lower. With Vault 22 neutralized, he could now continue his journey, confident that the wasteland had been spared from another catastrophe, at least for now. Six set his sights on the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters. Arriving at the dilapidated building, he wasted no time in dismantling it piece by piece. From the bottling machinery inside to the semi-trailer trucks that once transported the famous soft drink across the wasteland, he repurposed every valuable resource. He meticulously stripped the facility down to its foundation, taking even the concrete driveway and the perimeter fence. His goal was clear: to build a state-of-the-art beverage bottling and distribution center in Goodsprings. With access to the Nuka-Cola recipes, he envisioned creating a diversified line of drinks that would provide both refreshment and vital supplies to the wasteland inhabitants. This new venture would ensure that Goodsprings continued to grow, creating jobs and providing a steady supply of beverages, including both Nuka-Cola and Sunset Sarsaparilla, to the surrounding areas. The move symbolized Six's ambition to transform Goodsprings into a thriving hub of production and trade, expanding beyond weapons and technology into everyday necessities like beverages, ensuring his community's long-term prosperity. Level 10. Name, 611. Gender, male. Strength, 10. Perception, 10. Endurance, 10. Charisma, 10. Intelligence, 10. Agility, 10. Luck, 10. Barter, 42. Energy weapons, 27. Explosives, 30. Guns, 100. Lockpick, 27. Medicine, 42. Melee weapons, 27. Repair, 100. Science, 76. Sneak, 30. Speech, 27. Survival, 27. Unarmed, 30. Chapter 27. Battle Bus. After returning from the Remnant's bunker, Six faced Rebecca's lingering anger for leaving her behind during her pregnancy. He understood her frustration but was determined to make amends. When he presented her with the armory, complete with the stunning X-01 power armor and a cache of advanced weapons, her expression shifted from anger to pure joy. Her squeal of excitement filled the room, and at that moment, she completely forgave him as she pounced at him, ripping his clothes off. The newlywed married couple spent hours together, reconnecting in an intimate embrace that solidified their bond amidst the challenges they faced. Once the joy settled, Six decided to entrust the rest of the technologies he had salvaged from the bunker to his father, Victor, since Rebecca wasn't going to let him rest for some time. With his engineering genius, Victor was well equipped to transform those resources into innovations that could further strengthen their community and ensure the safety of Goodsprings. This collaboration would mark a new chapter not only for their family but for the entire settlement, with the VR pods, Autodoc Mark IX holographic map, and the energy shields. With the remnants of the past within his reach, Six shifted focus to the mountains encircling the vault. His vision for the vault now included a colossal endeavor, carving out the adjacent mountains to establish an armament complex, poised to significantly bolster Goodsprings' defensive capabilities. As he embarked on the excavation, he meticulously orchestrated the development of specialized floors for diverse production lines. One for crafting cutting-edge vertibirds, another for assembling robots, and more for the fabrication of weapons and ammunition. His ambition was to transform the vault into an autonomous nexus of military and technological power, guaranteeing Goodsprings' security and readiness for any forthcoming adversities. This complex would not only fortify their defenses but also stimulate the town's economy via the trade of sophisticated equipment and weaponry. Each stratum was designed for peak efficiency, harnessing advanced engineering methods and the resources at his disposal. With the advancement of construction, Six's dream of a flourishing, technologically superior community started to materialize, heralding a hopeful future amidst the desolate wasteland. Seeing as in how the Fallout New Vegas storyline wasn't going to be beginning anytime soon, he set out to find all the unique weapons skill books and items in the Mojave Waste, and he wisely decided to take Rebecca with him this time because she threatened to shoot his prick off if he left her behind again. Knowing better than to challenge her resolve, he gladly took her along on this scavenging adventure. As they set off in the battle bus, the pair was filled with excitement and anticipation for the adventures that awaited them. Their journey through the harsh landscape would not only strengthen their bond but also enhance their arsenal, ensuring they were well prepared for whatever threats the wasteland might throw their way. Together, they would make the most of the challenges ahead, united in purpose and driven by the thrill of discovery. Six and Rebecca's scavenging expedition took them across some of the Mojave Wasteland's most interesting locations, yielding an impressive haul of rare and unique items. Beginning their journey in Prim, they explored the remnants of the town's faded glories, stopping first at the Bison Steve Casino and Hotel. Here, Six managed to retrieve Lucky, the distinctive .357 Magnum revolver known for its reliability and accuracy, along with a copy of Tales of a Junktown Jerky vendor from the hotel's shop, which offered valuable insights into bartering and trading in the wasteland. From Prim, they traveled to Sloan, a quiet mining settlement on the edge of the Black Mountain Quarry. While there, Six uncovered two useful books: Dean's Electronics, a manual filled with tips for electronics repair, and Duck and Cover, an old pre-war guide on handling explosives, both of which would prove invaluable in maintaining their equipment and surviving the dangers of the wasteland. After a few days on the road, they arrived at the Repcon headquarters, the old rocket manufacturing facility. Here they struck gold. Among their discoveries was the Q-35 Matter Modulator, a unique plasma rifle that offered superior firepower and efficiency. In addition, they found 2 copies of Nikola Tesla and U, providing insights into energy weapon technology, and a big book of science, adding to Six's already vast knowledge base. They also managed to salvage several prototype robot designs, which would no doubt come in handy for future projects. As they ventured across the wasteland, Rebecca remained vigilant, manning the turrets of their heavily armored battle bus. With her sharp instincts and quick reflexes, she neutralized any threats that dared cross their path, ensuring their journey remained uninterrupted by raiders or wasteland creatures. After weeks of scavenging and exploration, Six and Rebecca finally returned home to Goodsprings, their battle bus brimming with the fruits of their labor. Not only had they gathered rare weapons, schematics, and technology, but Six had also strategically placed hidden teleporters at each key location they visited. These teleporters, small and discreet, would allow him to revisit any of these locations instantly, ensuring easy access for future operations or if any additional resources were needed. Their careful approach ensured they had gathered everything of value without disturbing the unfolding events of the Mojave Wasteland. The teleporters were placed so subtly that even the most observant travelers would overlook them, allowing Six to manipulate the environment without disrupting the natural flow of the Fallout New Vegas storyline. As the battle bus rolled into Goodsprings before dawn, Six and Rebecca witnessed the remarkable transformation of the land. What was once a dry, barren desert had become a fertile and thriving vibrant oasis, thanks to Victor's use of the Garden of Eden creation kit. The GECK had not only eradicated radiation but also revitalized the soil, allowing for the growth of crops and turning the arid landscape into a lush, green haven. Fields stretched as far as the eye could see, each one bursting with an array of vegetables and grains, while carefully constructed irrigation canals crisscrossed the landscape, ensuring every plant thrived in the revitalized soil. The townspeople moved about energetically, their laughter and chatter mingling with the sounds of rustling leaves and birdsong, as they harvested the fruits of their labor. It was a sight that filled Six with pride, knowing that his father's efforts had not only enriched the land but also brought the community together. For Rebecca, however, the experience was both enchanting and overwhelming. Raised in the night city and an arid desert of her own world, she had never seen such a lush and thriving environment. The contrast was stark against her memories of the synthetic life she had known, a life marked by scarcity and fierce competition for dwindling resources. She paused to take it all in, her eyes wide with wonder as she walked through rows of green, feeling the earth beneath her fingers, the dampness a testament to the hard work that had gone into this transformation. "This is so supreme," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. It was a world so different from the sterile, neon-lit streets of her past. The smell of fresh earth and blooming plants was intoxicating, evoking feelings of hope and possibility. It was a reminder that life could flourish in the wasteland, that nature could reclaim its dominion even after devastation. As they moved deeper into the town, the sense of community became palpable. Neighbors greeted each other warmly, children laughed as they played among the crops, and vendors showcased their bountiful produce. The joy was infectious, and for the first time, Rebecca felt a sense of belonging in this new world. Six watched her, noting the spark of happiness in her eyes as she interacted with the townspeople. He knew this place was more than just a base for their operations. It was a sanctuary they were helping to build. The lushness of Goodsprings was a testament to resilience and the potential for renewal, not just for the land, but for everyone living within it. As the sun fully rose, casting a warm glow over the vibrant landscape, Six took Rebecca's hand and led her toward the heart of Goodsprings. Together, they would continue to nurture this newfound paradise, ensuring it remained a safe haven amid the challenges of the Mojave Wasteland, a place where life thrived and hope flourished. As they unloaded their trove of resources into the vault, Six began to strategize. The teleporters gave him an unprecedented level of mobility, allowing him to conduct future expeditions with far greater efficiency. This new advantage would also give him the edge if any unforeseen circumstances arose across the wasteland. From the unique weaponry like Lucky and the Q-35 matter modulator to the invaluable schematics and books on science and engineering, every item had its place within Six's growing empire. Rebecca, meanwhile, had taken an even more active role in the operation. Beyond providing security during their journey, she now supervised the integration of their newfound resources into the vault systems. She and Six worked closely, planning future expansions to their defenses, weaponry, and even robotic infrastructure, using the prototypes they'd salvaged. With each resource carefully cataloged and every teleporter in place, Six and Rebecca were now not only building a legacy in Goodsprings but ensuring they had a direct line to the rest of the Mojave. Their foresight and strategic planning positioned them as a silent but powerful force with an ever-expanding reach across the wasteland. This new phase of their empire's growth was just beginning, as Six and Rebecca continued to strengthen their influence while carefully preserving the narrative that still played out around them. biding their time for when they might be needed to reshape the future of the Mojave. 6 eventually used the skill books to raise his stats. Science, 76 greater than 88. Sneak, 30 greater than 39. Medicine, 42 greater than 51. Explosives, 30 greater than 36. Speech, 27 greater than 39. Energy weapons, 27 greater than 36. Unarmed, 30 greater than 39. Barter, 42 greater than 54. Lockpick, 27 greater than 39. Survival, 27 greater than 39. Melee weapons, 27 greater than 39. Level 10. Name, 611. Gender, male. Strength, 10. Perception, 10. Endurance, 10. Charisma, 10. Intelligence, 10. Agility, 10. Luck, 10. Barter, 54. Energy weapons, 36. Explosives, 36. Guns, 100. Lockpick, 39. Medicine, 51. Melee weapons, 39. Repair, 100. Science, 88. Sneak, 39. Speech, 39. Survival, 39. Unarmed, 39. Chapter 28. Invasion. The transformation of Goodsprings into a fertile, thriving town brought with it new opportunities for growth and prosperity. With the land now capable of sustaining crops and the introduction of advanced technology, the next phase of Six Vision focused on establishing infrastructure and new businesses to support the expanding community. Housing. With the town's population likely to grow due to its newfound agricultural success, Six understood the need for expanded housing. He planned to create sustainable apartments using prefabricated designs from Rebecca's World Megabuilding, integrating modern amenities such as solar power panels and water recycling systems. Each apartment would have a balcony with personal gardens, further encouraging self-sufficiency among residents. With Six and Victor's expertise in construction, enhanced by the B-1 battle droids, would speed up the process, allowing homes to be built quickly and efficiently. Water and irrigation. The Garden of Eden Creation Kit had already introduced advanced irrigation systems, but with expansion, more sophisticated water management would be required. Six plans involved creating an extensive network of canals and reservoirs, ensuring that every plot of land could be adequately irrigated. This system would not only sustain crops but also provide fresh, clean drinking water for the townspeople. The surplus water could even be sold to other regions struggling with shortages, creating a lucrative business opportunity. Electricity. To power the growing town, Six intended to implement a hybrid energy system, using a mix of solar panels and wind turbines alongside his fusion generators. This system would ensure a reliable power supply, particularly in a region that received abundant sunlight. Additionally, his reverse-engineered robot technologies and resource-efficient designs meant that the town's energy consumption would be optimized. He envisioned Goodsprings as a self-sustaining community, with excess power being stored in batteries for future use or exported to nearby settlements in exchange for goods and services. Agriculture and food sources. Given the emphasis on fertile lands, agriculture would be the backbone of Goodsprings' economy. Six planned to establish large communal farms, where crops could be grown at scale. These farms would produce not only staple crops like corn, wheat, and potatoes, but also more exotic fruits and vegetables that could fetch high prices in the wasteland. Victor's expertise in machinery would be key in designing automated systems for planting and harvesting. Additionally, farm-to-table ventures, such as local markets and small restaurants, would sprout, attracting visitors from all over the Mojave. Tools and Seeds Market. Recognizing the growing demand for agricultural supplies, Six aimed to open a business focused on selling farming tools, seeds, and fertilizers. Since the townspeople and newcomers alike would need equipment to work the land, a store selling custom-designed tools, crafted with durability and efficiency in mind, would flourish. The sale of non-irradiated genetically modified seeds, resistant to the harsh conditions of the wasteland, would be another high-demand item. Six Store would be a one-stop shop for any aspiring farmer. Irrigation channel development. In addition to farming tools, Six saw the potential for expanding irrigation infrastructure beyond Goodsprings. He planned to offer irrigation development services to surrounding settlements, using the town's expertise to design and install similar systems. This would not only increase revenue but also solidify Goodsprings' reputation as a leader in agricultural innovation. As word of the town's success spread, Settlements from across the wasteland would come to Goodsprings seeking partnerships or consulting services, entertainment and hospitality. To further boost the town's economy and attract visitors, Six envisioned creating entertainment options for both residents and travelers. Given the town's location and growing reputation, it would naturally become a hub for merchants and wanderers. Six planned to build a large tavern where visitors could relax, gamble, and socialize after a long journey, run by Trudy. To diversify the entertainment options, he also planned for the construction of a theater or open-air venue for concerts and performances, providing a cultural hub in the wasteland. Rebecca, with her experience in the competitive nightlife of her cyberpunk world, could help shape the town's hospitality scene, ensuring that the venues would draw in people from all over the region. With these businesses and infrastructure in place, Goodsprings was poised to become an agricultural and economic powerhouse. The combination of fertile lands, innovative water and power solutions, and a variety of profitable businesses would draw people in, leading to population growth and increased prosperity. Six careful planning, combined with Rebecca's eye for opportunity, meant that Goodsprings would be more than just a town. It would be a beacon of hope and progress in the Mojave wasteland. He approached the window, gazing out at Goodsprings beneath the bright sky, and mentally mapped the town's layout again. Meanwhile, Rebecca lay unconscious, exhausted from their continuous intimacy. Suddenly, a system alert captured his attention. Ding! Dimensional invasion anchor detected. Anchor will set in 30 hours. Elimination countdown, 48 hours. Quest: engage the invasion and eliminate the invaders within the time limit. At that moment, Six was completely perplexed. His system had just alerted him to an impending invasion of the Fallout world, complete with countdowns. Hey, what do you mean by invasion? At least explain it clearly, system. However, the system remained silent, offering no explanation, only adding a location marker to his map. Six sat up abruptly, checked his Pip-Boy, set a timer, and noted the marked location at Spring Empty Ranch State Park for the quest. Considering the invasion, Six pondered various strategies for reaching the area. He could teleport to one of the high hills in Red Rock Canyon, but he wouldn't be able to transport his battle bus or heavy artillery. The alternative was to travel there, but it would take 1 or 2 days to arrive with all the necessary countermeasures to wipe out an army. Six opted for the second option, unwilling to abandon any of his technology. Unsurprisingly, Rebecca discovered him organizing a convoy of cargo trucks and tanks headed for Spring Empty Ranch State Park. With his chibi-pregnant wife in tow, they arrived at the designated area slightly late. As they neared the location, they saw several charred houses by the lake. Close to the homes, screams and growls filled the air as survivors, armed with guns, fought against a large group resembling ghouls. Seeing how they didn't go down from being shot multiple times, Six shot at one of them head with a rifle. After blowing its brain out, the creature finally went down, and he finally knew what he was dealing with: zombies. This caused him to panic about which kind they were, and prayed that they weren't the Walking Dead zombies. As Six scanned the battlefield, a chill crept up his spine. The sight of the undead pouring through the remnants of charred houses, shrugging off bullets until headshots finally put them down, sent a shock through him. His system had detected a dimensional invasion. Now he understood it was a zombie outbreak, something entirely foreign to the Fallout wasteland. Still reeling from the revelation, Six narrowed his eyes. Zombies. His mind raced through the possibilities. Were they fast? Slow? Did they infect with bites? Or was it airborne? Most of all, were these the Walking Dead kind, the sort that never seemed to stop coming until every corner of the world was consumed? He turned back toward Rebecca, who was sitting inside the convoy, already battle-ready despite her obvious exhaustion. Her sharp eyes darted across the scene, instantly recognizing the danger. Zombies, she muttered, glancing at the chaotic scene ahead. You better not let this turn into a Romero film, she quipped, the sarcasm cutting through the tension. Six steeled himself, trying to make sense of the situation. He watched the survivors shooting wildly at the advancing horde. They were brave but uncoordinated, wasting ammo with ineffective body shots. Their enemies were different from the ghouls or feral creatures he'd seen before. These were reanimated corpses with relentless persistence and, perhaps worse, intelligence behind their eyes. Without waiting, Six activated his CAMP system, deploying a quick base with automated turrets around the convoy to ensure their protection. He wasn't going to risk being overwhelmed by an unknown threat. All right, listen up, he barked, turning to Rebecca. We're dealing with zombies, real ones. Not ghouls, not irradiated mutants. We've got 2 days to wipe them out. and I'm guessing there's more coming. Get on the battle bus turrets, set up the mortars and order the tanks. We're turning this place into a fortress. Rebecca happily madly nodded, snapping into action, jumping in joy. She was in her element, tactical and sharp, especially when it came to destruction. I'm on it, big guy. She saluted, moving swiftly to her position like white on rice, her boredom forgotten from the trip in the face of the new threat. Six focused on the battle ahead, reviewing his options. Teleporting away wasn't going to cut it now. They needed every piece of tech, every gun, every tank they had. The clock was ticking, and he had no intention of letting this zombie invasion spread any further. His convoy of cargo trucks and tanks rolled into position, forming a defensive perimeter around the area. The high ground near the lake would give them a tactical advantage, allowing them to funnel the undead through choke points while raining heavy firepower down upon them. Six grabbed his customized 50 calories rifle, switching to high-caliber incendiary rounds. Time to test how fire affects these things, he muttered to himself. Taking aim at another advancing zombie, he pulled the trigger. Boom! The bullet connected, igniting the creature instantly. It flailed for a moment, but to his dismay, it kept coming until he followed up with a headshot. Great, he muttered. They burn, but they don't stop. Rebecca's voice crackled over the comms. I've got the turrets online and the drones are armed, big guy. Should I test the flamethrowers? Please let me test the flamethrowers. Six considered it. Not yet. Hold them in reserve. Let's see how many waves they send before we risk running out of fuel. The battle was far from over. The system's timer relentlessly counted down the 30-hour mark for the dimensional invasion anchor to set. Six's mind churned with strategies. He needed more intel and fast. Were these zombies the first wave? How did the invasion work and where was it coming from? System, show me the anchor point, Six demanded. A map appeared on his Pip-Boy, pinpointing a location deeper into the state park. His suspicions were confirmed. This wasn't a random outbreak. Something was controlling or at least facilitating the invasion. We'll need to move in on that anchor eventually, Six said into the comms. But we're holding this position for now. Rebecca, focus on the zombies ahead. I'll keep checking the rear. As the hours passed, the fight raged on. Zombies kept emerging, seemingly endless in their numbers, but Six's technological advantage held them off. Turrets mowed down the weaker undead, while the B-1 battle droids picked off the tougher ones, working in perfect coordination. Every shot counted, and every moment pushed him closer to the truth of this invasion. In the back of his mind, however, Six couldn't shake the unsettling question. What kind of zombies are these? He prayed they weren't like the fast, unstoppable kind that plagued the more apocalyptic dimensions. Yet the system remained cryptic, its only response being the ever-ticking countdown and the growing sense of unease that something far worse was yet to come. We've got 46 hours to finish this, Six muttered under his breath. And I'm not letting the Mojave fall to a zombie apocalypse. With that resolve, he and Rebecca braced for the waves to intensify, knowing full well they'd have to face whatever horrors the dimensional anchor would bring next. Level 10. Name, 611. Gender, male. Strength, 10. Perception, 10. Endurance, 10. Charisma, 10. Intelligence, 10. Agility, 10. Luck, 10. Barter, 54. Energy weapons, 36. Explosives, 36. Guns, 100. Lockpick, 39. Medicine, 51. Melee weapons, 39. Repair, 100. Science, 88. Sneak, 39. Speech, 39. Survival, 39. Unarmed, 39. Chapter 29. Invader slain. Stop them. Protect the children. Don't let it get near the children. Amid the shouts, the survivors continuously shot at the zombies, but these attacks failed to slow the creatures in the slightest. The zombie's body was covered in bullet holes, but they didn't care. Their limbs were blown off by multiple bullet shots, but they still continued walking forward before their very eyes. Clearly, they still haven't realized that ordinary attacks were useless against them. Every time one of the zombies' countless numbers reached one of the survivors, the creatures would precisely grab a survivor and drag them toward the undead horde and devour them. Soon bullets rained down like a storm, with some even explosive rounds, as Rebecca didn't care to save them as she watched the last kid being torn apart. Rebecca's eyes were cold as she watched the chaos unfold. Bullets flew everywhere, But the relentless horde of zombies continued advancing, unstoppable. The survivors' desperation echoed in the air, their screams growing more frantic as they ran out of ammunition and hope. Despite the rain of gunfire, nothing seemed to halt the undead. The gruesome sight of the last child being ripped apart stirred something dark in Rebecca. Her mind, hardened by years of survival in a dystopian cyberpunk world, left little room for empathy in the face of inevitable death. In this wasteland, she understood that mercy had no place. "Rebecca, hold the line." Six's voice cut through the comms, sharp and commanding, though he could sense her cold detachment. He had witnessed that same deadened look in her eyes before. Her past in Night City had numbed her to the pain of others, but he needed her to stay focused. "They're already gone, Six," she said, her voice flat, as another survivor was torn apart by the horde. "There's no saving them." Six clenched his fists in frustration, but he couldn't argue with her logic. They had arrived too late. The children, the survivors, everything was already lost. "Focus, Six." He reminded himself as he recalibrated the defenses, pulling up the schematics on his Pip-Boy. The mission was still on. He quickly adjusted the turrets, setting them to target the zombies' heads, the only proven weak spot. At the same time, he began deploying the military camo B-1S armed with plasma rifles, something he had kept in reserve. If regular bullets couldn't stop these monsters, high-energy plasma might. "Rebecca, I'm launching the military camo B-1S armed with plasma rifles," Six said, flicking switches on his Pip-Boy. "Let's see if these bastards burn." A squadron of sleek, military camo B-1S shot up from behind the convoy. Each one was armed with a plasma weapon designed for precision strikes. Rebecca, her face still stoic, took a brief glance at the B-1S, then resumed raining hellfire from the battle bus turrets. The military camo B-1S zipped through the battlefield, targeting zombies with surgical accuracy. Zap, zap. Plasma bolts pierced the air, striking the undead in the head. Finally, success. The first few zombies hit by the plasma disintegrated upon impact, their bodies burning away instantly in a flash of green energy. Rebecca cracked a wide smirk. "Well, at least something fucking finally works," she muttered. But just as they were making progress, Six noticed something on the horizon. A larger, more grotesque figure was emerging from the treeline. This wasn't just another zombie. It was something bigger, more mutated, and far more dangerous. Its body was hulking, twice the size of the others, with grotesque muscle growth and misshapen limbs. Worse, it was surrounded by a dozen other zombies, acting as shields. "Oh hell, Rebecca, we've got a boss-level problem heading our way," Six said, his voice grim. Rebecca locked onto the new target with the battle bus's main cannon and the other artillery cannons. "Let's see how it likes a 155mm shell to the face," she growled, already adjusting her aim. The giant zombie roared, shaking the ground as it lumbered toward them, its smaller undead entourage shielding it from incoming fire. The battle bus shook as Rebecca fired powerful rounds from the cannons, but the shots barely slowed the monster down, as it used its arms to protect its head. The cannon shell exploded on impact, sending bits of flesh flying, but the thing kept coming. "Damn, its arms are tankier than I thought," Rebecca cursed under her breath. "Six, we need more firepower." Six was already on it, setting the rest of the military camo B-1S on the boss zombie. "Let's melt this thing," he said as the military camo B-1S converged, raining plasma fire on the creature. The plasma shots began eating away at its flesh, but the boss zombie didn't stop. With every step, it seemed to regenerate, undoing the damage caused by the plasma and cannon fire. Six's heart sank as he realized the thing wasn't going down easily. "We're running out of time," Six muttered. The countdown to the dimensional invasion anchor continued to tick away, and the horde wasn't thinning. If they didn't deal with the boss soon, they'd be overrun. Rebecca, however, had an idea. "Six, remember those prototype plasma grenades you salvaged from Repcon? If we can get close enough." Six nodded, already reaching for the experimental grenades in his bag. "I was saving them for something bigger, but this'll have to do." They devised a quick plan. Rebecca would cover him from the battle bus, keeping the smaller zombies off him while Six used his speed to get close to the boss and plant the grenades. With a deep breath, Six sprinted forward, gunning down and dodging through the chaos as Rebecca laid down suppressive fire. Zombies swarmed toward him, but his enhanced reflexes and agility let him dodge or shoot them down before they could grab him. He closed in on the boss, the plasma grenades ready in his hand. Timing his throw perfectly, Six launched the first grenade at the boss's feet. It exploded with a blinding flash of green energy, vaporizing the surrounding zombies instantly. The boss zombie staggered but didn't fall. "Come on," he growled, pulling the pin on the second grenade. He tossed it right into the creature's gaping maw, and the explosion that followed was deafening. The boss zombie's head exploded, disintegrating in a cloud of plasma. Six dove for cover as bits of the creature rained down around him. When the dust settled, the boss was gone. Obliterated. Rebecca's voice crackled over the comms. "Nice throw, Hotshot." Six exhaled in relief. "That should give us some breathing room, but we're not done yet." The zombies were still coming, and the dimensional anchor was still out there. But for the moment, they had taken down the biggest threat. Now, it was time to finish the job and stop the invasion before it could consume the Mojave. The area was quickly filled with the pungent smell of blood, burnt flesh, and gunpowder with bodies scattered everywhere, resembling a scene from hell. Finally reaching to center of the dimensional anchor, he found a tall Asian man wearing a black pinstripe suit holding a dark orb. Inside the suit, he was wearing a white dress shirt along with a yellow tie. He also wears black framed glasses and brown dress shoes. He was being protected by a group of high schoolers. As he got close, his system finally gave him information. Gamer Invader found. Koichi Shido High School of the Dead. Necromancer. Six knew this character. He appears to be a kind and caring teacher, but in reality, he is a sadistic psychopath and allowed the students he had deemed weak to be bullied. And now it was worse since it was a gamer who took his place and was probably controlling the undead with that orb. "Students, protect me." Shido used his charm and charisma to convince his students to protect him, as he started to run toward the dimensional gap. Protect Shido-sensei. The majority of the students having been brainwashed by Shido by having his followers engaging in sexual intercourse. This way, he will rule and be served by mindless followers. His strong charismatic authority and quasi-religious mystique render him a David Koresh-like figure. "Oh, no you don't," Six shouted, dashing toward the sociopath as he put down his followers and put a bullet in the coward's head. Strangely, Shido body dissolved as the dimensional gap closed. He stood amidst the carnage, breathing heavily, his eyes scanning the battlefield that had transformed into a scene straight from a nightmare. Blood and burnt flesh filled the air with a pungent stench, mixing with the acrid smell of gunpowder. Bodies of zombies and Shido's brainwashed students littered the area, motionless. His mind buzzed with questions, but the system's latest alert sent a wave of frustration through him. Ding! Gamer double invader slain. Koichi Shido, High School of the Dead. Necromancer. What the hell do you mean by double? Six muttered, glaring at the empty space where Shido's body had dissolved. It was clear now that he hadn't faced the real Koichi Shido, but rather a double sent by another gamer, someone who had paid a fortune for this twisted invasion. Ding! Gamer invaders can purchase a double body to invade other worlds for 200,000 MSP. Six clenched his jaw. This whole event wasn't random. It was another gamer exploiting a loophole, sending proxies to do their dirty work in worlds they wanted to dominate. The Shido double was just a pawn, a powerful one, but still a pawn in a much larger game. So that's how it is, Six thought, frowning as the pieces began to fit together. He wasn't just dealing with random threats. The invaders he would face could be far more dangerous than he initially thought. People with access to unimaginable resources and powers, manipulating entire dimensions from the shadows. His fingers twitched toward his Pip-Boy as he checked the time. The dimensional gap had closed, but this wasn't over. Other invasions could still happen, and now that he understood the scale of the threat, he needed to prepare. Gamer invaders weren't going to stop coming, not as long as there were people out there using their abilities to exploit weaker worlds. Rebecca's voice crackled through the comms, pulling him back to the present. Six, you all right? Did you get him? Six took a deep breath before replying, his voice calm but edged with tension. Yeah, I got him, but this wasn't the real one, just a double. A double? Rebecca sounded surprised, though not entirely shocked. So there's still the original behind this? Yeah, we're dealing with another gamer, one with a lot of resources. They can send these doubles into other worlds without even being here themselves. There was a pause on the other end. So what now? Six glanced back at the decimated battlefield. The zombies were down, the dimensional gap closed, and Shido's influence eradicated, for now. But something told him this was just the beginning. More invaders would come, and they would be more cunning, more powerful, and more prepared. We head back to Goodsprings, Six finally said. But first, I'm leaving some surveillance droids here to monitor this area. I don't want another surprise like this. Rebecca's tone shifted, more relaxed now. Got it. I'll have the battle bus ready to move in 5. As he set up the drones, Six's mind was already racing with possibilities. He needed to bolster his defenses, expand his resources, and most importantly, prepare for the unknown. Gamer invaders were no joke, and if they had enough influence to send doubles, it meant they could infiltrate other worlds he wasn't even aware of. His world, the Fallout world, was now a battleground. One thing was clear: the rules of the game had changed, and Six wasn't about to let anyone else invade his empire without a fight. Level 10. Name: 611. Gender: male. Strength: 10. Perception: 10. Endurance: 10. Charisma: 10. Intelligence: 10. Agility: 10. Luck: 10. Barter: 54. Energy weapons: 36. Explosives: 36. Guns: 100. Lockpick: 39. Medicine: 51. Melee weapons: 39. Repair: 100. Science: 88. Sneak: 39. Speech: 39. Survival: 39. Unarmed: 39. Chapter 30: Reincarnators. After clearing the undead infestation at Spring Empty Ranch State Park and dismantling the remaining defenses, Six and Rebecca prepared to depart. As they were leaving, a series of system notifications chimed in, signaling the completion of the invasion quest. Ding! Quest: engage the invasion and eliminate the invaders. Objective: successfully slay invader. Complete. Reward: ultra-rare violet tier item origin rounds. Bonus objective: successfully defend the world within the time limit. Complete. Reward: super rare gold tier item invasion ticket. Bonus objective: successfully ensure 60% of the population survives. Failed. Origin rounds. All ballistic ammunition from the Fallout world transforms into reality-bending rounds that reduce all supernatural and fictional powers to a regular non-powered state. Invasion ticket: a unique consumable that places an anchor in another world. The gamer has 5 opportunities to set a permanent anchor by having invading forces withstand the given time limit. Ding! Level up. Checking his Pip-Boy, Six noted that he had reached level 11. After a brief consideration, he immediately maxed out his science skill to 100, giving him unparalleled expertise in scientific knowledge and crafting. The remaining 5 points he allocated to medicine, as he knew being able to heal and tend to injuries efficiently would prove critical in future battles. For his perk, he chose Finesse. Permanently increases critical chance by plus 5%. Feeling a tangible boost to his resilience, Six smirked, appreciating the additional protection. Ding! Level up. Once again, he leveled up, reaching level 12. This time, he boosted medicine to 73, further enhancing his medical proficiency. For his perk, he selected Living Anatomy, revealing detailed information about any target, including health and damage threshold, and grants a plus 5% damage bonus against humans and non-feral ghouls. Ding! Science has been maxed. Perk gained. Atom Tinker 2 halves. With the Atom Tinker perk fully realized, Six felt the boundaries of his technological prowess expand exponentially. His ability to invent and modify devices had reached new heights, surpassing even the most advanced scientific knowledge of the world. He could now create technology that defied the laws of physics and reality, powered by his instincts as a tinker. His potential for constructing unique weapons, vehicles, and systems was virtually limitless. Atom Tinker 2 of 2. The full potential of the Tinker's ability is unlocked. Six can now invent or modify devices far exceeding the limits of education, knowledge, or physics. This covers a specific domain of technology where his expertise is unmatched. Six grimaced at the last notification. The scene of that child being torn apart still lingered in his mind, but he shoved the thoughts aside. He couldn't save everyone, and this world was always brutal. His focus shifted to the rewards, particularly the origin rounds. These were incredibly powerful tools, especially the origin rounds, which could negate the supernatural abilities of anyone relying on mystical, reality-bending, or other fictional powers. That kind of ammunition would be invaluable against future invaders or any enemy with powers beyond the laws of his world. With his newfound skills and rewards, Six felt more confident than ever. His empire was growing, his power was rising, and now he had the tools to defend his world and expand his influence to others. The invasion ticket was particularly intriguing, offering a chance to anchor into another world and establish control. Rebecca, seated nearby in the battle bus, raised an eyebrow at his expression. "You look like you just won the lottery." "In a way, I did," Six replied, flashing her a grin. "We've got some new toys. Powerful ones." "Good," she said, her eyes darkening slightly. "Because next time, I want to crush these fuckers before they even touch the ground." Six chuckled, revving up the battle bus. "Don't worry, we will. We've got bigger plans ahead." As Six revved up the battle bus, the weight of the battle they just survived still hung heavy in the air. He could see the devastation they had left behind through the rearview mirror. Charred homes, blood-soaked streets, and the stench of death. Yet, despite the grim aftermath, his mind was fixed on the future. The origin rounds and invasion ticket were more than just rewards. They were tools that would elevate his control over both his current world and others beyond it. Rebecca, leaning back in her seat with her arms crossed, glanced out the window, her gaze sharp and unreadable. She had changed. The wasteland, the constant combat, and now the reality of dimensional invasions were shaping her into something more dangerous. Six noticed it in the way her eyes had darkened when talking about future invasions. She was no longer just along for the ride. She was evolving into his equal, a partner who thrived on conflict and power, much like he did. "Where are we heading now?" Rebecca asked, breaking the silence. "We're going back to Goodsprings," Six answered, his voice steady. "We need to regroup, take stock of everything we've gathered, and plan. With these new tools, we have options." Rebecca smirked. "Options to expand, you mean?" Six nodded. "Exactly. Goodsprings is just the beginning. We're going to fortify, expand, and build. With the invasion ticket, I can establish a foothold in another world too. But we have to prepare. The next invasion won't be a surprise, and I'll make sure we're ready." Rebecca looked thoughtful for a moment, then nodded in agreement. "I like the sound of that, but next time I want more action. This invader was too weak." Six chuckled. "Don't worry, next time we'll have a real challenge." As they sped toward Goodsprings, the future seemed full of endless possibilities. The wasteland, once a barren and unforgiving desert, was slowly becoming the heart of an empire. With the origin rounds, no supernatural power could stand against him. With the invasion ticket, he could invade other worlds, bringing new resources and power under his control. And with Rebecca by his side, ruthless and eager for more, he was confident that whatever threats came their way, they would crush them together. As they approached Goodsprings, the sight of lush fields and bustling workers greeted them. The town was transforming into a beacon of prosperity amidst the wasteland, thanks to Victor's efforts with the GCK. But Six knew this was just the beginning. He had far grander ambitions. Stepping out of the battle bus, he felt a surge of energy. He turned to Rebecca. "This is our world now, and soon it'll be just one of many." Rebecca smiled, a dangerous gleam in her eyes. "Then let's conquer it all." As the months rolled by, Six focused on growing and strengthening his forces, preparing in anticipation of another future invasion. The unexpected peace that followed Shido's cowardice allowed him to expand his territory and fortify Goodsprings further. He poured resources into agriculture, technology, and defense, ensuring that the town could withstand any threat. But amidst this growth, Rebecca had given birth to twins, a boy and a girl, August and Tanya. Yet, their birth revealed a startling reality. Both children were reincarnators. His daughter, Tanya, was the reincarnation of Tanya de Gearchaff, a cold and ruthless military prodigy from the world of Yujo Senki, while his son, August, was the reincarnation of Mikazuki August, the hardened, battle-worn warrior from Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. They bore the legacies of powerful individuals from other worlds. Tanya, with her fierce spirit and sharp mind, seemed to embody the traits of Tanya de Gearchaff. Even as a baby, her piercing gaze and determined demeanor hinted at a strong will and strategic intelligence. August, on the other hand, exuded calm confidence, reminiscent of Mikazuki August. His instinctual nature and affinity for machines were apparent even in his infancy. Six immediately sensed that some mysterious force was meddling with his life. Having reincarnated figures from other worlds as his children was more than just a coincidence. It was an omen, a sign that the challenges he was facing extended beyond the Mojave wasteland. This made his preparation for future invasions even more critical. He was now responsible not just for his growing empire, but for two dangerous reincarnated souls, each with their own warlike tendencies. Rebecca, though exhausted from childbirth, was fiercely protective of their children. She often found herself in deep conversations with Six about their futures, expressing both pride and concern. "They're going to be something else," she said one evening as she cradled the twins. "With their past lives and our teachings, they could be unstoppable." Six nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "They will be trained, but we need to ensure they know the weight of their potential. With their backgrounds, they could attract attention from forces beyond our control." He envisioned a future where Tanya could strategize and lead armies, perhaps even acting as a general, while August could become an unparalleled engineer, creating machines and weapons that could give them the edge in battle. The legacy of their past lives might serve them well in the harsh reality of the wasteland. Yet, even as he nurtured hopes for his children, a lingering feeling of unease gnawed at him. What if Shido's retreat was merely a pause, a way for him to regroup and return stronger? He knew he had to remain vigilant. "While we enjoy this peace, I'll keep training," Six said, determination in his voice. "And I'll ensure the twins are ready for whatever comes next." Rebecca smiled at him, her eyes glimmering with understanding. "Let's build an empire they can be proud of, one that will withstand anything the universe throws at us." With the twins in tow, Six felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had a family to protect and a legacy to build. As he looked out over the flourishing fields of Goodsprings, he couldn't help but feel that the best was yet to come. Level 12. Name, 611. Gender, male. Strength, 10. Perception, 10. Endurance, 10. Charisma, 10. Intelligence, 10. Agility, 10. Luck, 10. Barter, 54. Energy weapons, 36. Explosives, 36. Guns, 100. Lockpick, 39. Medicine, 73. Melee weapons, 39. Repair, 100. Science, 100. Sneak, 39. Speech, 39. Survival, 39. Unarmed, 39.